Hey guys, as promised, I will be doing a review of the Logitech G203 Light & Sync gaming mouse. I unboxed this along with the Ducky12SF mechanical keyboard, and if you'd like to see that video, there will be a link down in the description or on screen here. And without further ado, let's get into talking about this lovely little mouse. Before I get into the specification, in my research I saw that there was some confusion between the G203, G102 and G305 models, and as I have mentioned, this is the G203 model, but in Asian regions this model is actually known as the G102. Confusing, I know, I don't know why, but it is. And it was also once called the G203 Prodigy before the update to the LightSync software. The difference is that the LightSync models all use the Logitech software known as the G-Hub. Anyway, basically, the G-Hub allows you to sync up all your Logitech RGB devices as well as assign settings to all the buttons, and from what I understand, the Prodigy was not compatible with that. The G203 is often compared to the G305 model as they share the same body shell, so just the outside. The G305 is the gaming-oriented wireless version of this mouse with the Hero sensor, which is Logitech's new flagship sensor for its top-of-the-line mice, while the G102 and G203, which are the same thing, use the Mercury 210-00-1709 Rev2 optical sensor. Most people report that the Mercury sensor is equal to the 3366 sensor. There is a very long and detailed discussion about this sensor on the overclock.net forum. If you're interested in that, there is a link in the description down below if you would like to check that out. The reuse of the body in multiple models is probably done to reduce costs, as no redesign or extra tooling for manufacturing are necessary for these two additional models, so the G102 and the G203, which are the same thing, and probably because this shape is very comfortable for multiple hand sizes, and this is probably likely a case of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Lastly, before I forget, this mouse is about $40 USD on Amazon, and here in Australia, it's between 55 and 60 AUD. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the specs. The Logitech G203 Light & Sync gaming mouse has 6 buttons. There are 2 on the sides with the standard configuration to be used as forwards and backwards buttons while browsing, 1 under the scroll wheel to change the DPI, the scroll wheel itself, which just acts like a normal scroll wheel button and can be configured to whatever you like. Some Logitech office-oriented mice come with a feature to unlock free scrolling, but unfortunately, this model does not have that. And the polling rate is set to 1000 Hz by default, so it's nice and responsive right out of the box. The switches used in this mouse are by Omron. They are the D2FCF7N switches made in China, and they are rated for 10 million clicks. I have one to show here. I'll obviously be showing B-roll because this thing is so tiny. You can get these separately for approximately $1 USD on eBay if over time the ones in your mouse stop working out of warranty. And if you are handy enough with a soldering iron, these are easy enough to replace. And of course, I'll link a video down in the description showing you how that can be performed, but please don't go clicking out of this video until you've watched it until the end, because I'm a baby YouTuber and I need that sweet watch time. Moving on. However, there's also a KO switch in this mouse, and here is a teardown of the mouse, and right here you can see that the KO switch was used in the middle DPI button. I'm assuming this was done to make the button have a different feel, as it is a bit harder to accidentally press, and this is because the KO switch seems a little bit heavier than the Omrons in this mouse. The button sensitivity and the RGB of the mouse can be customized using the G-Hub. Seriously. Am I the only person with a problem with the name Logitech? Why? So here is the G-Hub. Unfortunately, because I only have that one Logitech device, there are some features of this software I can't really demonstrate. Also, this demonstration will be a bit short, but if you guys want a more in-depth look into what options you can get with the G203 within the G-Hub software, I'll be making a more in-depth overview, and that will be linked in the description as soon as I get that video up. When you first open up the software, here you can see my G203 Light & Sync gaming mouse. If this were a wireless device, say the G305, the battery life would be displayed down the bottom here. Up the top here, you have your games profile. The software recognizes the games you have installed on your PC and allows you to customize your device settings for each game individually. You can also have multiple profiles per game that you can switch between. As you can see, I don't have any games installed, so it comes up with just the default desktop profile. If you go back to the home screen and you click on this little icon here, you can create an account which allows you to save all your profile settings, your RGB and button assignments, that kind of thing to the cloud. And this can be really handy if you are switching computers but want to keep all your settings. Clicking on the mouse itself, it brings up the RGB customization. On this mouse, there is this band on the side and the logo in the middle, which is made up of 3 individual RGB LEDs packed closely together. In some Logitech mice, you can customize different parts of the mouse to have different RGB if the RGB LEDs are a bit more spread out. So in this tab here, we have some presets. This is just the one color that you can assign an effect to. Next up is the Freestyle tab. Here you can assign 3 different colors to the 3 different LEDs inside this mouse, which you can do by clicking on these circles here and either manually selecting the color to whatever you want, or you can enter the color code here. And lastly, here we have the Animations tab, where you can choose from a few presets, or if you want to be really fancy, you can create your own. It's a bit complicated and time consuming, but basically these are your frames. They are 1 second each. You can add frames by clicking the plus button. If you look at the little icon for the animations here, it shows essentially what it would look like on your mouse. So here you see this wave. Where it is higher, it is brighter, and as it gets lower, it will get dimmer. And then you would arrange these on your little timeline here in whatever order you want. And if you click on them, you can pick the colors that you want for them in the same way you would in the Freestyle tab. And by mixing and matching these colors and these frames, you can create your own custom animation. One thing I should mention that there is an obvious color discrepancy. I have a decently color accurate drawing tablet as one of my monitors, and well, the colors on the mouse, they don't look like that. Here is what I have set the colors to. I have an orange, a purple, and a light blue. The light blue looks great, but the orange kind of looks like a pink, and the purple looks like a very slightly different shade of blue. But I found that if you use complementary colors instead of like contrasting colors, so for example, here I've put the orange next to a pink, and it shows up a lot better than if I put it next to, let's say, a blue or a green. As for the grip of the mouse, I have very small hands and I tend to hold my mouse in a palm grip. I can reach all the buttons very comfortably, and I think this mouse would work great for all hand sizes, as there is a good reason that Logitech keeps reusing this shell. I've been using this mouse predominantly to browse the internet and for casual tasks on the computer, and I have not had any issues with it. The grip is very comfortable, and the standard configuration of the buttons is very handy, and the mouse is usable right out of the box without any requirement for the use of the G-Hub. The only thing that I have noticed that may be a little bit uncomfortable for some is that this mouse does get a bit warm around the palm section, but this could also be because it's summer here, and it does get really hot in Australia. I'm not really into gaming, but I have no doubt that this mouse will perform just fine, as it has the equivalent to the 3366 sensor. Rocket Jump Ninja also did a review of this mouse centered around its performance while gaming, and his verdict was that it works great. Overall, I think this is a great all-round mouse. It works great right out of the box, it's comfortable for many hand sizes, and it's excellent for general casual computer tasks, even in competitive gaming, and this all comes at a very affordable price. Logitech, you did a great job, apart from naming the software, but let's skim over that. That is all I have to say about this lovely product here. Thank you guys so much for watching my review of the Logitech G203 Lightning Sync Gaming Mouse. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you would like to see my review of the Ducky 12 SF mechanical keyboard that I unboxed along with this mouse, make sure to subscribe, and I'll be linking that one in the description as well as the end card once it is done. And let me know in the comments down below what you think of my review and if you think it was helpful. Thanks for watching! No one can see that I'm wearing pajama pants. Shh, don't tell anyone. That was off script completely. I'll be linking a link. Okay, it was going good until it wasn't. My little feet are freezing. My little size 6 feet. Don't tell anyone. So well. Sorry. Hey! I clicked something.